in the operations management and decision sciences area. And I am also the chairperson of the doctoral program. So today we are gathered over here largely to get to know more about our programs, the PhD programs. We have two PhD programs. One is the full-time PhD program and the other one is the executive PhD program. For those of you who have joined online, am I audible? Do you think I would need a caller mic?
You are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So let me spend some time trying to give you an overview of what this PhD and executive PhD programs are at IIM Trichy. If you have any questions, I would request you to wait till the end of the presentation and then probably I'll take all the questions one by one. I will also, if there are any people who are unable to speak, please make sure that you post your questions in the chat so that we can pick that up and then we'll speak, right? So, to start our college, just before we talk about the programs, it's important to know what we stand for. We largely stand for, as a college, we want to become a management institution which can not only impact business, but also society. So all our research, all our teaching, all our consulting, all our executive education that we do is largely geared towards that particular thing. So whatever we do, we are trying to work towards that particular thing. And our programs are also designed that way, especially the PhD programs, right? So our PhD program, the objective of our PhD program is to create individuals who not only have a rigorous as well as interdisciplinary research focus in all areas of business management. Similar to the PhD program, this is a full-time PhD program. We also have an executive PhD program. The only difference between the PhD full-time PhD program and the executive PhD program is in terms of not from the treatment point of view, not from the way we design that particular course, but more from the point of view of how it can be done. A full-time PhD program requires you to be stationed at IIM Trichy in Tiruchirappalli campus for the entire period of that particular program, while for the executive PhD program, you can continue to do this as you work as well. That's the idea behind this. So this PhD program as well as the executive PhD program, for this particular year, we are opening the admissions for 7 areas, starting with economics and public policy, finance and accounting, information system and analytics, marketing, operations management, OB and HR, and also strategy. Strategy this year is also rebranded as strategy and entrepreneurship. So we are also inviting applications for those of you who are interested in entrepreneurship as well. We are inviting applications for that. Because many of you might not necessarily be interested in only one area and might be doubtful as to which area is most suitable for you. If you are in that particular dilemma and if you want to apply to more than one area, you are also allowed to do that. We allow you to apply to a maximum of 2 areas of specialization. The reason being that we also don't want you to be spread too thin. If you are applying for 2 areas, you will have to work on creating your statement of purpose, your research statement, all along that particular line. So I'll get to that particular part towards the later part. How do you go about your application process? So that's what we have. We generally expect our students to complete this particular program within 4 to 5 years. The structure of the program, I'll explain that in few minutes, but this is the general expectation. Before I move to the executive PhD program, the structure of the full-time PhD program involves coursework for the first 5 terms. Each term is of 3 months duration, roughly about 10 weeks of classroom training, and then a couple of weeks for your exams, what we call as paper submissions, term paper submissions. So that would involve about 3 months of time for each term. And we have 5 terms of coursework, and then you also have after that, we start what we call as a comprehensive qualifying examination. A comprehensive qualifying examination is the similar kind of structure across the world, everywhere in the world. If you do a PhD, you will have to first complete your coursework and then you finish your comprehensive qualifying examination, which is an examination based on everything that you would have studied in the first few terms, right? That's what a comprehensive qualifying examination is. The structure of the examination is going to be different across different areas that you are going to apply. What it means to do the comprehensive qualifying examination is something that you will learn as you go forward. Then after you clear your comprehensive qualifying examination, you have what we call as the next milestone would be something called as a research proposal. You work with your dissertation committee, you identify your dissertation committee members, create research proposal, and based on this research proposal, you present it in front of the general audience and get their acceptance that this is a research worth doing, right? And that's what the submission and defense of research proposal is. And once it is approved, you have the next few, about a year and a half to work on your dissertation and complete that. Then you will have again a defense and a final submission of the dissertation. Once you do that, you will be, if you successfully clear that, you will be awarded a doctorate degree. That's the general procedure that is there for whether it is a PhD program as well as the executive PhD program. The part after the comprehensive qualifying examination remains exactly the same. For the PhD program, the requirement is this way, that one of the biggest misnomer, or rather I would say misinformation, that many of people who want to do a PhD in the management field, especially from IIMs, they believe that a master's degree is required for this. This is one of the very few programs across the world which allows you to directly register for this right after your bachelor's program. So after your bachelor's program, once you register for this, you would have your coursework which is equivalent to a master's degree, and then you do your PhD, right? So that's the reason why this program allows you to directly get into this PhD program right after your bachelor's degree. And the thing is that this bachelor's degree has to be a 4-year bachelor's degree, right? If you have done a bachelor's degree which is not a 4-year degree, we expect you to also have a master's degree, and in each of them the expectation is that you have a minimum of 60% or equivalent, which is usually considered as a first class degree, right? Regarding CAS, CS, ICWA, or if you have done a MBA from one of the IIMs, if you have done an MBA, or we have a Chennai Center for IIM Trichy, if you would have done a PGP BM there, then you are exempt from certain exams that you need to take. All the other requirements are usually waived off, and you can directly apply there, right? Other details regarding the eligibility criteria, you can always go through that from our website. More details are available there. I will also answer any questions that you might have over here. There is another thing that we require for the admissions, which is regarding qualifying examination. Like any other PhD program, if you apply abroad, they would expect you to do a GRE or a GMAT. At IIM Trichy, we expect you to have taken one of these 4 tests, majorly 4 tests, that is CAT, GMAT, GRE. We have also introduced in the last year a test which is conducted by Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, which goes by the name IMB test. Unfortunately, this year, this test is already over. Remember that this test is only for the full-time PhD program, right? Now, if you have not taken any of these tests, but you are a UGC JRF candidate, and you have done this in one of the management and allied areas, then you also stand a chance to apply for this particular program. So if any of you have not done this particular thing but intend to do this, unfortunately this year we will not be able to take your applications, but for next year you can plan ahead, right? So that is something that you can do. Other than this, there are two areas, especially operations management and decision sciences and information systems, which take gate score as well as an input. The gate score is also taken as an input. That means that if gate is supposedly going to happen this week or probably the next week, if you are writing gate, then if you write for this particular year as well, you are eligible to apply for this program. This is regarding the PhD program. Then how does the admission process generally happen? Once you apply to this, the application is online. You can go to our website, you can find the application. In the application, the deadline for the application is 15th February. And once you have done that, the general procedure is that you are going to have, once you finish this particular application, we screen these particular applications and latest by about 15th March or so, you will be intimated if you are selected for the interview round. Once you are selected for the interview round, once you get in, if you clear the interview round, that's all that is there, right? So once you clear the interview round, then you would be made a final offer if you are selected. That's the general procedure. Apply, application goes to the screening process. If the area evaluates and finds you suitable, then you go ahead and clear the interview, and the interview is all that is there, right? Regarding the full-time PhD program, because people have to leave their job and they won't have any other source of income, for full-time PhD program, we have financial support. We have a very generous financial support for our PhD program. We have a monthly stipend of 35,000, which was earlier 30,000. This year we have increased it to 35,000. And post the comprehensive qualifying examination, it would increase to 37,000. And then once your proposal is done, it would go to 40,000 per month. There is no tuition fee. There is no hostel fee. All of this is waived off. And apart from this, there is generous support in terms of buying software, hardware, contingency grant in terms of any expenses that might occur for books, for printing purposes, for attending any other workshops or lectures. As well as this, apart from this particular thing, you also have a conference grant of about 3 lakhs, which is which you are eligible for if you get into this particular process to attend international and national conferences. Now, there are certain type of students who would also need to collect the data in the field, whether you're doing a survey, whether you're collecting data for a qualitative interview. You also have a field research grant of 50,000 that will be given to you in terms of going out for your travel expenses, for your data collection expenses. That is something that you can use, right? So this is the financial support for the PhD program. Mind you, this is only for the full-time PhD program. Now coming to the executive doctoral program, executive PhD program, the areas of specializations for which we are inviting applications this year are exactly the same as the full-time PhD program. We have 7 areas for which we are inviting these applications. Same as the PhD program, you are allowed to apply for 2 areas, and the general expectation remains the same, that we expect you to complete this program within 4 to 5 years. How does the executive PhD program structure change from the full-time PhD program is the way in which the coursework happens. The coursework over here happens in 6 terms of 3 months each. That is 6 total terms instead of 5 terms in a full-time PhD. And each term you will have to do 2 courses. 2 courses is equivalent to about 60 hours of classroom content. 2 courses would be equivalent to 60 hours of classroom content. This program is a hybrid program. That would mean that you would have a part of this particular classroom contact done online and a part of it done offline as well. When we say that this is happening offline and online, a percentage of it happens offline and percentage of it online. And when it happens offline, we expect you to spend complete 1 week, that is 7 days over here for every term. That means for the entire duration of 2 years of coursework, you are supposed to visit IIM Trichy for 6 times, right? Now, once this is done, once you are able to clear all your coursework, you will have the same structure as a full-time PhD program. You will have a comprehensive qualifying examination, you have a defense and research proposal, and then you have your dissertation, right? So that is the general process that is followed. The eligibility is slightly different for the e-PhD as compared to the full-time PhD. For an executive PhD program, we expect people to have a minimum of 10 years of work experience. Minimum of 10 years of work experience is what is required. We expect you to have a first class both in your master's and bachelor's degree. Again, master's degree is not required, but if you have done a master's degree, we expect you to have a 60% requirement there. When I say 60%, the way we are putting that down as first class, some colleges might have a different structure. Some might say 65, some might say even 55. As long as you have a first class or equivalent, we don't mind, right? Now, the more important thing is that once you have these two things, 10 years of work experience and first class, you are almost good to go. You can apply to any particular area. That's all that is required. Over and above this, think of this as a bonus. If you have certain qualifications, if you have done some certifications, for example, as a finance professional, if you are a chartered financial associate, if you have a CFA charter, then whether it is level 1, level 2, level 3, or a complete member, you can think of this as a bonus. You will get some more points when we look at your candidature, right? More details regarding this obviously are available over here. The selection process is exactly the same. Fill in the form. If we like you, if you think that among the relative set of people who have applied for this program, if you are really good, then we will call you for interview. The interview is going to happen physically at IIM campus. And if you clear that particular interview, then you are through. Then we will make a final offer to you, right? That's all that is required, right? Same procedure like the full-time PhD. So this is all about how the program runs. There are a lot of these testimonials which are there on our social media channels, on our website as well. You can go through them. These testimonials are there for both the PhD as well as the executive PhD programs. Just to tell you, rather than me saying how good they are, as we say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. This is one particular way you can verify whether our program is really good or not. We have seen our students have demonstrated what this particular program is and how effective it has been in terms of how it has impacted their lives. So all that is there, right? Now, while there are many PhD programs across the world, not just in India, across the world, there are a lot of programs within India. There are a lot of IIMs which offer PhD programs. Now, why is that you should probably think of applying for IIM Trichy? Is that we are very proud of the way we have designed our coursework. Our coursework is probably considered to be one of the best. We have not only the courses which will help you in terms of methodology. There are courses which are also designed for that particular area, which are based upon cutting edge research that our faculty does. We have both physical as well as intellectual infrastructure. Our faculty, our research scholars drive this intellectual infrastructure that I'm talking about. They bring in so much interesting work that other people around them will be easily inspired by them. Not only this, our faculty, as I said, does cutting edge research, which there is evidence for that, which I'll show you in a moment. Now, apart from that, the physical infrastructure, our learning resource center, which others call as library, is probably one of the best in the world. I would rather go on a limb and say it is best in the world, not just best in India, because if you would come over here, if you see the kind of infrastructure that we have, it's really one of the best, right? Not only in terms of the physical infrastructure, the content that we have, the websites, the databases that we are subscribed to, the knowledge resources that we have for our scholars, it's one of the best, right? We have a very generous research support for our full-time PhD students. Now, the interesting part is that because we have a PhD program as well as a executive PhD program, there is a lot of cross-learning that happens between these two, right? Full-time PhD students are generally known for their strength in their research methods, in the training in terms of their content, their theories and other things. The executive PhD students, because we have people coming in from practice, they bring a lot of practical exposure, right? So there is a lot of cross-learning which happens, which is one of the key things that we believe. And we make sure that we provide a lot of opportunities for both our full-time PhD and executive PhD students to meet each other, exchange ideas, and through that, there is a lot of cross-learning that is happening, right? Now, apart from that, if you spend some time just Googling around about our IIM Trichy campus, or if you get time, please do visit our campus. You'll see that we have a very, very beautiful 173-acre campus. We have peacocks, we have beautiful birds, we have lakes and whatnot, right? It's a beautiful campus, and if you want to meditate, there is no better place than this to actually do this, right? Now, apart from this, this particular program, we are a young institute. While we cannot say ourselves as a toddler anymore, but we are a young institute. We are about 10-year-old institute, or 10 batches, about 13-year-old institute. Now, if you compare yourself with the other older IIMs or other older institutes in the country, they all have legacy. They all have expectations from you when you enter those programs, that there are people who would have been there and done that. But when you come to our program, what we believe is that you are building a brand. So whatever you do, whatever interesting stuff that you do, whatever good research that you do, you are not only building yourself, you're also building a brand, IIM Trichy. And that particular opportunity you might not get in other places. And that's the reason why we invite all of you to take this chance to apply to the PhD program. And if you really are successful, it will add not only to you, but also to our campus as well. There's a lot of research that our faculty have done. And this is just only a glimpse of it, mainly because of the limitation of the space. Our faculty have published their research in top journals. There are different categories. You can say that some of those journals that appear at the top are what we call as the FT50 journals, considered as a gold standard of research. And then you also have this A-star, A, and other research that we have. All of that. I've just given a glimpse of some of those research which have been published by our faculty, right? Not only our faculty, our doctoral students have also made us really proud. They have already published in several top journals. They have presented their work in top conferences across the world and have won several awards, including the best paper awards in some of the most prestigious conferences in the world, right? And not only this, while we are a young IIM, we have decent number of alumni who are working in probably some of the very, very eminent colleges and corporations across India, right? So some of them being older colleges than IIM Trichy, IIT Jodhpur, IIM Calcutta, IIM Shillong. These are all institutes which have been established much before IIM Trichy. There is IIM Sirmaur, XLRI, another very old institute and very, very eminent institute. We have Great Lakes, Kriya University, TAPMI, Masters Union, SBI, L&D, Ahmedabad University, MICA, IMT, and the list goes on. These are just few of the places that our alumni are working in. So again, as I keep saying, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Nothing more a better way to showcase how our doctoral students, how our program is really based other than showcasing how our students are performing, right? And that's the best way to look at this. Now, I also want to add that our executive doctoral program is a new program. We don't have any alumni graduating from our executive doctoral program yet. That does not mean that they are not doing well. They are already working on a lot of research papers. Some of those research papers, case studies have already been published. And that in itself is a validation that despite them working, they have found ways to contribute to research. That is a very interesting thing, right? Now, that's all from my end. I am more than happy to take any questions that you might have. Please feel free to unmute yourself. Those of you who are here, please make sure that you can ask your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of those questions that might come my way. Thank you.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Mr.
Could you like expand a little on like what the career opportunities for the executive PhD program would likely be like? So I know you said that there's no data points, but where would you like project?
Okay. Thanks for the question, Sunil. For the executive PhD students, as I said, we don't have data points from the current program, from our program, but the executive PhD program is not a new thing. It has been there outside India. Some of them call that as DBA, Doctoral of Business Administration, in some parts of the world. In India, also executive PhD has been run by other colleges before us. XLRI being one of the oldest ones who has been running that. IIM Indore has been running that, and other places. The data points from there, right? I'm obviously nitpicking over here in terms of those people who have done really well. Some of them have joined academia. So some of them have joined as prestigious institute like IIM Bangalore as well. So that means that executive PhD, for us, executive PhD or a PhD, we regard them the same. The same degree is being granted for both the parties. So we don't do any distinction between them, nor is the distinction in terms of the rigor that we follow. I will put it out clearly that both our PhD program and executive PhD program are very rigorous, very tough programs, right? So only if you are able to dedicate that amount of time, and I keep saying this to everybody who intends to do a PhD, not necessarily only from IIM Trichy, that a PhD program is not about intelligence, it's about hard work. It's always about hard work. So if you are able to do that, nothing can stop you, right? And I've seen, I'm definitely one of the examples. I don't believe that I am intelligent. I have worked hard. I know that I could have worked hard, obviously, but I have worked hard, and I am here. And I believe that any other PhD student can definitely do that the same way. Right? So whether it is executive PhD or in general PhD as well. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes. And just like a follow on, can you like tell me what the flavor of the subjects in the 6 terms would be like? I'm trying to focus on the executive PhD because that's what I'm thinking of applying for.
Okay.
So, like, would it be similar to say an MBA course, or would it be like a doctoral level course that would focus on what we are looking at in terms of a specialization?
Okay, right. So, Mr. Sunil, none of our courses, so for the full-time PhD students, there are some courses that they have to do at an MBA level. The reason why we have that requirement is because some of these people might not have a background in an MBA, or some of them might come as I mentioned, some of them directly come from a bachelor's background. So we have that. Now, if you are looking for executive doctoral program, even the full-time PhD, majority of your courses are going to be at the doctoral level. So the flavor of the courses, and again, this could be of use to everybody, the flavor of the courses will be largely dependent upon the type of courses. So largely there are 4 themes of courses that we talk about. The first one is what we call as a research methodology courses. So which is a common course list that is going to be there for every area, every discipline that you are applying for. The second one is what we call as the area core courses. That means that if you are taken, let's as an example, say that you have applied for information systems and analytics area, you are expected to have done at least these basic courses before you can even think of attempting to do a research in this particular area, right? That's what we call as an area core courses. The third category is what we call as area elective courses. Now, area elective courses are usually offered in consultation with you. Usually PhD programs are not very big. That means that the faculty might discuss with you, try to understand what your interest area is, and there could be a possibility of creation of courses that could be catering to your interest, right? So that is what we call as area elective courses. And the last category, which is for the full-time PhD students, is that MBA level courses, just to give them what we call as a bread. So the expectation is that we give a PhD degree in management. We don't give a PhD degree in finance or PhD degree in information systems or operations. So when you go out to any particular college, the expectation is that when you're going there, you don't just know your subject, you also know about other subjects as well. That's the idea. And that's the reason why, especially for full-time PhD students, we ask them to have a bread. Now, why don't we offer that to the other executive PhD students? Largely because the substitute is the 10 years of experience. If you have 10 years of experience, we assume that you would have at least seen that much amount of world that you understand other disciplines of management as well. Right? That's the general thought process. All right. Any other questions?
Hi, sir. I'm audible. Am I audible?
Hi, Harpreet. I can hear you. Yeah.
So I have 2 questions. One, first of all, I just wanted to ask is how government takes this course as a valid PhD kind of a program as an executive PhD as well as a PhD. Because as per my info, I may be wrong that they don't still do the government agencies don't allow this as a PhD course.
No, Harpreet, there is nothing stopping you from claiming that, because we don't have a distinction between ePhD and PhD. The degree that you are going to get is a PhD degree.
Okay.
At least at IIM Trichy, we give a same degree to both PhD as well as executive PhD.
Okay.
Some colleges have a differentiation. We don't have that. We
Okay.
can give a PhD degree. So that is valid across.
Okay, okay, thank you. That's clear. Second question which I want to ask is, supposedly you told that in 2 years there will be 6 terms, and every term you have to be here for a 1 week, right?
Yes.
So for some maybe professional adjustment and all, we are able we miss one of the term or something. So is it there a possibility to compensate? Because there could be possibility that maybe we are aligned with some other work commitments in our corporate job, and the timeline are clashing.
We understand that, Mr. Harpreet. So the idea is that we generally release our calendars at the start of the year. That means for the entire year, your calendar for when you are going to have a online classes, when you are going to have an offline classes is already released. We expect you to have made adjustments for that, and that's the expectation that we have. Now, there would be cases where some of you might have completely unavoidable ways to probably not attend. So in such cases, in the past, we have asked the students to take a break. So what you can do is you take a break and you rejoin the program in the next year at the same point. So those provisions have been given to the students. So that way you don't lose out the opportunity to complete the program. Also not forego your opportunities at your workplace, right? But we cannot substitute that break with something else in that particular program. So we cannot allow you to continue the program if you would have missed out that part, right? So there is a minimum amount of attendance break that you get if you are an executive PhD student, but that's about it, right? Other than that, we expect you to manage it somehow, and to facilitate that particular thing, we give upfront notice so that you don't have to, you can plan much earlier. That's the idea.
Okay.
I have a question, sir.
Sure.
So this is regarding the comprehensive qualifying exam.
Okay.
Is it like, for example, like a college, like the term goes and then at the end of the terms you write your exams.
Right.
And then keep on writing until you finish your courses. Will
Okay.
that happen similarly for the doctoral programs, or we study
Okay.
continuously for all the terms and end of all the term we'll write one big exam?
Okay. So it's good question, Mr. Anand. So just for everyone, if you haven't heard Mr. Anand's question, so Mr. Anand is asking about whether a comprehensive qualifying examination is going to be one big exam and there won't be other exams, or there will be exams after every particular course, right? So on a very humorous note, we are very sadistic, right? So we will have exams after every course as well as the comprehensive qualifying exam, right? So you will have to pass every course, and the comprehensive qualifying examination, think of it this way, right? It is a way for you to showcase that I am ready to take independent research. That's so the expectation is that way. So while I've said that we are all sadistic, we are not that sadistic, right? So we also expect that. We don't expect you to get 100 out of 100 there. The expectation is, as I said, we expect you to have showcased that you can do independent research on your own. That's the expectation. That's generally how a comprehensive qualifying examination works. And there also you will be given upfront notice that, okay, these are the courses for which you need to do it. And area by area, it will differ. Some of them expect you to write a research proposal, small proposal. Some of them have written in class exam. Some of them might have a presentation, which might happen 2 times, things like that, right? So that's how you do it.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Uh,
Sir, my question is regarding.
yeah, who is this?
Sir, this is Sai.
Sorry, we are not able to.
Sai Krishna, sir.
Yes, Mr. Sai Krishna, please.
Sir, during coursework, like per day, how many hours we'll be spending in classes?
Are you talking about the full-time PhD course or the executive PhD?
Full-time, sir. Full-time PhD.
Okay. See,
Not
full-time
the
PhD course,
PhD.
for all of you who are interested in the full-time PhD course, just indication this way. The load on a full-time PhD course, because you are in class, is almost double of an executive PhD course, right? So every term you are going to do 4 courses. 4 courses means that in a 3-month period, you are going to spend 120 hours of classroom contact. Classroom contact of 3 months, 120 hours would mean that, so 3 months would be 12 weeks. So every week you have about 10 hours of classroom contact, roughly. Right? That's the general idea.
Okay,
Does
sir.
that answer your question, Mr. Sai?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the thing is that these courses, obviously, the general thought process is every course has about 6 hours of classroom teaching that happens every week, right? For every course, and then you have multiple courses. That's how it's generally planned, right? So based on that, by the end of the 3 months, you will be completing the entire 120 hours of classroom content, right?
Okay, sir.
Again,
Good evening,
just-
Professor.
Okay. Who is this?
Kribakaran.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Kripakaran. Please go ahead.
Yeah, is the entrance test like UGC, GRF, and GRE, CAT? Is that mandatory for executive PhD
No, executive
programs?
PhD students don't require an entrance exam.
Oh,
This is
thanks for
only
that.
for the full-time PhD students.
Oh, thanks for the good answer.
Sir,
So just a question on the exams again.
Sure.
Are the exams for the ePhD course online or offline? Like, will they happen during the 1 week that we are in Trichy?
Well, most of the exams are going to be online. It's not, so the 1 week classes usually happen in the middle of the course. It's not
Okay.
going to be, exams are usually going to be there. But when you come over here, one component of the exam might be conducted over here, right? So there will be multiple components for each course. One of the component might happen when you are here.
And another question on the specialization. So I'll give you a little bit of a background. So I'm an actuary, and I have like an area of specialization that I want to pursue, which is finance. But I don't have a specific research topic that I kind of have in mind. So is that like a requirement to kind of put in your SOP, or is it okay if we have only a broad area of specialization? For example, say insurance pricing.
Okay. Good question, Mr. Sunil. I think this is relevant for almost everyone, including full-time PhD as well as executive PhD. Just so that you do this, if you somehow landed up today for this particular thing, I'm assuming that you follow our social media channels. Follow our social media channels, especially our LinkedIn. In our LinkedIn, we have a particular channel by the name Research at IIM Trichy. If you have not followed that, please do that. We have recently posted a video over there which talks about one of our doctoral students telling you about how to handle this statement for purpose or research proposal that you have to write in your application. So that's a good video. You should definitely go and watch it. It will help you, right? But other than that, let me also explain what we generally expect, right? For any full-time PhD applicant or a part-time or executive PhD applicant, the general understanding is that we know that you are not there. If we knew that you are already there, we might have as well taken your comprehensive examination, right? We expect that you might have some idea, but not entire idea, right? So what we are hoping from you is that you have an intent to do research and you have started that particular process. So at least have you thought about it? If you are thinking in that direction, that in itself shows us that you are interested in this program. And all that we are looking at is two things: interest, intent, and hard work, right? Sorry, three things, right? My counting is bad. So interest, intent, and hard work. That is what we are generally looking for. So if you are able to showcase that, if you have thought about that this particular is the larger, broader theme that I'm interested in, look at that, expand on that particular thing by doing some amount of secondary research if you can. You can also do primary research, speak to people, and based on that, write that thing. But to get more understanding of how you would do this, one, as I said, I would request all of you to watch that particular video. Two, you are always free to reach out to us, some of us as faculty, some of our doctoral students. You can find them on Facebook, LinkedIn. Don't find them on Instagram. We want to be more, what should I say, formal about this. So let's at least find them on LinkedIn and try to reach out to them and then speak to them. We are very happy to help you. We are more than happy to invite you to our family. If you intend to do PhD at IIM Trichy, or if you don't, even if you want to do PhD at any place, we'll be more than happy to help you.
Thank you, Prof. That answers me.
Hi, Professor. This is Shashi here. Good evening.
Hi, Mr. Shashi.
So, couple of questions here. So, I'm not sure if you covered the fee structure for the executive PhD.
Right. So, Mr. Shashi, thank you for pointing that out. I haven't specifically spoken about the fee for the PhD, executive PhD program. for the executive PhD program, till last year, we had about 10 lakhs as our fee, which was supposed to be paid in 6 tranches. That is, each term you would have to pay some amount. That was the fee. But it is subject to revision. It was the same fee that we had for the last 5 batches. So it has gone for a board approval. I don't have the complete details of that, but it's going to be slightly above 10 lakhs.
Okay, thank you. And just another follow-up question on that, not on the fee structure, but another follow-on question. So I come from the industry, and yeah, and there are some topics that I'm kind of thinking through, and I've applied to a couple of other universities as well. So could I kind of keep that as a basis for creating my research proposal along that lines?
Definitely. Don't worry about this is not plagiarism because you are applying to different colleges. That's okay. So you are free to use the same research proposal here as well. Right?
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
As I said, feel free to reach out to our faculty from different areas. You can easily find them on our IIM Trichy website as well as on LinkedIn. We will be more than happy to help you or assist you, right? In whatever way we can to help you and aid in this particular process. Always reach out. If you want, you can reach out to me as well. My name is Sirish. You can just find me as Sirish Gowda. I think you will find my contacts in the chat. So just search for Sirish Gowda and you should be able to find me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to help you with whatever details that you want.
Thank you so much.
So there are a couple
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please.
I'm Shiva. So, like about the JRF thing. So, is it necessary to I have to crack the JRF in management or HR or some other? Like, I'm from MSW HR background.
Okay, so what you can do is if you open the application for IIM Trichy, they have specifically given you the list of topics for which this particular area is looking for. Let's say, for example, OB and HR. OB and HR is looking for one management. They have 4 or 5 other areas which they are open to take UGC JRF for. Now, if you are not able to find that particular thing, I would request you to reach out to me. Send me an email. DPR chair, you can just type. So if you just send an email to the chat, I'm just giving my email ID on the chat. So you can reach out to me and I will provide you more information on that.
Sure, sir.
So there is somebody else. Hi, please. Somebody else is asking a question.
Vishal was trying to.
Okay, so let me take some questions from the chat. So I think there was Mr. Vishal. I hope you are still there. Mr. Vishal, you say that your background is civil engineering, and I already applied the application. I don't see civil engineering anywhere in it. Is application I've filled incorrect. Don't worry about it. So if your background is civil engineering, you are a BTech. That's all that is required. I hope you have some exam that you have given, a CAT or a GMAT or a GRE. As long as you have done that, we are more than happy, right? Vishal, if you need to reach out to me, you can always reach out to me with more details. I will be able to solve that particular question, right? So my email ID is there. Vishal, please respond to me and we'll be more than happy to take your. So you have qualified the GATE exam, nothing like that, right? So that's perfect then. So we'll consider your candidature.
Professor, just a question.
Sure.
Let's say that we define a primary and secondary area of research, and we start the program. And during the program, we kind of realize that maybe there's another area of research that we would like to focus on. So would that be possible? Like, is that?
More often than not, yes, right? More often than not, yes. In fact, that's what we expect, that you might come up with one idea at the start. It's not necessary that you will have to follow that only. The idea is that this program is also intending to give you more exposure than what you already have, right? So if you're very sure that you will want to work on it, definitely we'll aid you there. But if there is a possibility that you want to work on something else, we will provide you that particular platform as well.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for those who have joined here in person, for those who have joined us online. We have the recording of this particular event. We will also post it on our YouTube channel. If in case some of your friends are not able to join, if you want to share it with them, please feel free to share that particular thing. I'm assuming that we can take these questions as well. With your consent, we will take these questions also as a valid input for others to work on that. So if, with your permission, we will put this part as well. But if you have any reservations, we will just edit out till the part where I'm talking about the program, and then we can put it till that. None of you have any reservations, we will put it up entirely on our YouTube channel so that you can go through that as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking out time. And I wish you all the best wherever you apply. Definitely apply to IIM Trichy, but if you don't, all the best for your application at anywhere in India or in abroad, right? All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.